Okay, I'm going to continue with my live coding of kind of getting this Belleville Running Club up to a decent live site. And so, just as a little interesting point, in the last video, I was changing the background color to pink, just as we were importing our CSS sheets and getting that to work. And so, just a little one-off that it is in fact pink behind the white. So there is a background color going on. And basically what we have here is we have what's called SAS, syntactically awesome style sheets, which is built into Bootstrap. And so by bringing in Bootstrap, we get these SAS variables, and these SAS variables are overriding the custom CSS that we have written. So again, if I kind of look at it in its current position, I could see that this body, we get these variables and that there's a background color to white. And now that my kind of cache is all there, that's the only thing interfering is these SAS variables to change my background color to pink. And obviously it's not going to stay that way, just getting this custom CSS, but to be applied. And so that's kind of something, a problem, if you will, that I'll kick the can down the road so I can keep moving forward a little bit more with the content. So the task at hand is to continue converting this from a Bootstrap 5 template. So if I just kind of pull up an HTML site here, this is on localhost. This is where I'm heading. Obviously a lot of CSS, a lot of custom CSS in here. And so I need to get, my CSS overriding those SAS variables. And maybe I need to just work with SAS and override those variables. And so I'm not sure where that's going to go, but this is the template that I'm going to start with to get here. And so I've got the HTML here, and then in this template it's pretty well organized in CSS and fonts and images and JavaScript. And so we brought in a lot of these JavaScript JavaScript scripts into our template, and that is kind of the Bootstrap template. And then this is our MERN app. We've got a little back end going, a little front end. On the front end, what I do is I run a script on the front end to npm run build auto. Kind of inserted that script in the last live coding session, and it just kind of, every time I'm making changes to my HTML files or a CSS file or JS file, it kind of reruns a build command and puts that in the dist folder that my backend is serving up. So the backend, if I run my run dev script on my backend, it boots this up on localhost, and here's localhost 5000. Here's the live BellevilleRunningClub.com localhost. I'm going to close the live for now. Not really too important with the template site. Kind of keep that pulled up over on my other monitor. And now I'm going to start ripping the HTML in to my into my React app. And so my process is to get everything kind of, the strength of React is to have components. And I'm definitely going to build out many components. But right now, call this, I'm going to hide my terminal. Call this, the only component that I have right now. I'm just going to cut the code and kind of keep this in like a backup file. Just open up a notepad and kind of throw that in there as for what it currently is. Kind of keep that off to the side. And well, let me go ahead and do a React fragment and start bringing in, I'm just going to copy and paste all the HTML from the template And then there's one important thing to do. Now there's a lot of HTML in this template, and obviously I don't need it all. But if I kind of copy everything, besides the scripts at the very bottom, and paste that in, a lot of problems, because what? This is an HTML comment. This is not HTML. This is JSX. So let's see if my hotkey works. There you go. And so let's just change these comments into JSX comments. Before we go about customizing anything. Now, the other thing that's always a problem when bringing over template code is in JSX, class becomes class name. So I'm just going to do like a find and replace all. And this needs to be a self-closing image tag, so all my images. And these image icons probably going to have to be updated with their source path. But let's just kind of go through this, hack through these. Now, that's obviously a mistake. That makes that happy. So the hotkey for the comments is Control //. Nice little hotkey to have in the toolkit, because comments are different in all languages, so sometimes just having a hotkey that'll do that for you is nice. So these are Font Awesome icons that we'll have to bring in another way probably. So those icons won't work out of the gate. Input controls are also self-closing. Okay, got a line break here. I'm at the footer, so at the end here, woo. Okay. So I did notice that there was some closing that paragraph, close the footer. Okay, so that now we fixed all those. Now all of our classes have to be renamed to class name. So I'm going to do a find and replace. Okay, and pretty sure, see, we can't do it all the way because there's our classes. So we just can't replace all, unfortunately. We're going to have to do one at a time. And that's just going to have to be what it is. Not that one. Next. Next. Try and not make a mistake on this. It's also worth noting oh, see, there was one that I accidentally did. Control Z that one. Our classes gets me. Oh. Getting there. The more you look at that word, it becomes a funny word to look at. It's got a nice little calendar here that we're looking at, and that'll be nice to customize that calendar for the needs of the running club. Almost there. Yeah, but this the template was Bootstrap 4, so that's something else to factor in as I... Okay, now we're back to the top. So that should be all of those. And let's bring the terminal back up. Let's see if everything's compiling. So it did. And so clearly something's still not working, because if we look at the body, we've got nothing in there. All right, what I have to do is kind of look through any potential errors, see if I can find using target blank as a security risk. rel equals no refer, which applies to no opener. Okay. Let's do no refer. See if we find any other linting issues. Save. Okay, console errors. We do have console errors. Cool, so that gives us minified React error 62. Visit this for the full message or helpful warnings. React error 62. Sure, minified React, the style prop, okay. So you got to write inline styles differently. So that's what's going on here. And so let's see how many inline styles we've got. Well, good. We've got one inline style. So how about, and if I look, should be able to rewrite this. As such, maybe 2 curlies it would look like. Okay, frame border, capital B. Okay, no more inline styles. Thankfully, as all right. That's not it. That's the other template. Got my hopes up. But we got to get on port 5000. So let's go. It's funny. I was like, no way, that's all together. View my terminal here. Localhost 5000. I must have closed it. Ah, we're on 5000. Holy smokes, this is looking good. That was easier than anticipated. And it's beautiful. It's got the video working. Awesome. Okay. Let's start putting some actual content on the page. So this says training studio, so I'm going to change this to Belleville. This will say running club. Okay, so that does a reboot there, does a reboot there. And cool. Let's just make sure that our nav bar still is happy. Okay. Well, good. Something's broke, and that's a Bootstrap nav bar, so that's something we will fix. The full nav bar is good. So let's also, while I'm here, pretty sure that the template had some console errors in it. And so it's not happy with Google Maps, and so I'll have to figure that out. And cannot read properties of undefined top. So that was actually on the template itself. Both of these errors were here on custom JS line 88. So those are a couple errors to fix. But now that this is here, let's update this become a member and sign up. So at the end of the day, become a member will take you to an external site, which is called Run Sign Up. And cool. So this is pretty much the URL to see. Now let's see. Cool. And so this should be the right link to sign up. And, you know, probably we can get a different video in the background while we're here. I don't want to do too much. I want to deploy it again is really what I want to do. So we're going to do one more deployment once I update this. Once I update this sign up link, ahref sign up. And I'm not so sure. Yeah, this is either a renew, so you can renew, or if you're new, you sign up. Okay, cool. So this is the right. This is the right URL. Let's get that into there. We'll do a target blank, and then it wants you to do the rel no refer. Okay. Close. Refresh. Oh, that was this one. That's not become a member. So we're going to take that back to pound. Probably I'm just trigger. Really curious. This doesn't look like a standard Bootstrap nav bar. Which I like what they're doing here with the scrolling. But getting the mobile to be clickable, it's a bummer that doesn't work. Anyways, become a member needs to be updated, and then we can fix those problems as we go. Become a member, close the terminal. There's become a member. And this is linking there. Okay. Okay. So let's see what breaks when we deploy it, because change a heading, change a link, got the CSS up and running. That's no longer working. So probably as we start to figure out what's going on with these console errors, that's going to help us. It's dealing with some jQuery. Yeah, so that's probably some of these different scripts that are there. And in a worst case scenario, we just refactor this to a Bootstrap nav bar, and that'll be just fine. Okay, so localhost 5000 is all good. and close that. Let's go back to the terminal and redeploy. Well, I'm gonna have to just keep on continuing on because I can't leave it. I can't leave it as in that state for too long. So let me stop here. Front end script. Let me stop the back end script. And deploy. Pause while that spins. Okay, deployed. So let's see what broke. Yeah, I thought that would be too easy. Failed to load resource. Server responded with the status of 404. And so it works on localhost beautifully. However, deployed to G-Cloud, we get that. And now all we have is a pink background. That's funny. That's the one thing we couldn't get. And that's all we got. So let me troubleshoot this. And I'm not going to record this, but I'll be right back. Oh, well, no troubleshooting needed in the sense that it just wasn't done working. And so once I let it finish the job, this is beautiful. So this is the service, but if I go to BellevilleRunningClub.com, okay, now the service is working. This is probably cached, is probably what it is. So let's see if it's the cache getting me. Wow, the service is working. So I just checked, it is a cache thing, and so if I clear browsing data from the last 24 hours, that should resolve my problem. There it goes. Yay. All right. Now I'm going to keep on working on this, and probably what I will do is switch some of these sections around in another video.